Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Phoenix Rising. Last episode, finished our Bulwark Mark II. And I think I want to send it straight into there. However, before we do that, well, we have this other little ship over here, this here. And, you know, I kind of just want to see what it looks like, honestly. So, yeah, I think we'll just bring it along with us for the heck of it. It's right there anyway. And it's not doing anything other than waiting. An upgrade just got completed, and I think that's going to be, yes, these guys up at, Oslo Packs. And now we're doing the Endurance. And he just got down to here, so now we can do the other one, Nebula. And that just leaves the Sachin, which we will get started somewhere. I'm not sure.
On the way.
But yeah, with that, I think we're just gonna go ahead and head straight in.
Coordinates received.
Tactical battle imminent.
Cruiser standing by.
Okay, that's a little awkward.
Battleship here.
Alright, let's find out.
Coordinates received.
How powerful actually is this thing? Just on its own. I'm going to leave the MC behind.
Shuttle here. Weapons online. En route.
It's not as fast as the seculars. Though for being quite so enormous, it's
Weapons charged.
you know, not that slow.
Frequency open. We're
Oh,
heading out.
there's something in the middle here, isn't there? Is that interference from one of those
Enemy forces ahead.
big asteroids? Wow, that is good grief.
Battleship standing by.
Oh my goodness gracious. What even is that? That is... Are you serious? That was 60,000 shields just deleted. That was a couple of seconds of sustained what on earth? Wow.
Ready to commence.
Huh.
Moving into position.
What do you know?
Keep your eyes open for those fighters.
That's...
Shuttle reporting.
That
Roger
is...
that. Preparing for combat.
That is a lot, is what that is. That is so much.
Stay in attack formation. Attack formation.
It's going to struggle a little bit more with the hull than it will with the shields because it has lots of turbo ions, but struggle that's very relative. Holy moly. I'm starting to feel like this thing was a little underpriced. I'm gonna be honest. It's not even scratched. It's not even scratched. Are you serious?
Weapons charged.
Also, I can't help but notice that this
B-wing squadron
this
reporting.
thing launches
We're starting our
some
attack
quite good stuff. Actually, they both do, but this thing in particular,
Weapons operational.
it's got Mark II E-Wings, got
A-wing squadron
A-Wings,
reporting.
Defenders, Mark II YT-2400s. Like, dang.
Coming around.
Ready for orders.
Coming in fast.
I have the target in sight.
Actually, go after that.
Heading for attack position.
These are funky little things. Kind of interesting. I feel it doesn't really look very much like a fighter to me,
Form up.
honestly.
Moving to attack position.
Oh, you haven't even been directly directing your fire at that. That is... wow. Pro tip, if you ever happen to be playing as the Empire
B-wing
with this
here.
mod and
Awaiting orders.
the Alliance rolls up with one of these things, I'm thinking maybe you just run away.
Try not to let one on your tail.
Like, Secutors are terrifying ships. And this thing is just eating these things.
Moving to coordinates.
Like, this isn't even fair.
Forward. Watch your
Oh,
six.
why is it all zoomed out like that? It wasn't. It wasn't the first time I did that. Come on.
Got one. I'm in range.
Lag is steadily increasing as the Secutors continue to launch their fighters. They have so many that I think they're probably going to be launching for the duration of their being on the field. Which, considering the Bulwark, that duration is not significant.
Try not to let one on your tail. Rendezvous.
Really, really glad we brought Tills in here to support this, because that
I'm with you.
1,100 or 11,000 credits right there.
Stay in attack formation.
Order confirmed.
Copy. Engaging enemy.
Our shields are not even halfway down. Are you kidding me? Wow.
Vector set. I have visual contact. Should we go around for another pass? I'm losing power. I'm with you.
Of course, the thing is, this thing is just heavy weaponry. Like, it's all the heaviest caliber weapons that I think this mod even has. As far as I'm aware, I've never seen anything bigger than these turbo lasers.
6.1.
216 damage. I don't think I've ever seen any that are more damage than that. So this is basically just good against large targets.
Attack formation. We're in attack range.
I think you could... certainly, fighters and bombers, you could overwhelm this 100%. It would be able to do absolutely nothing. Transports, you could almost certainly do transports. Corvettes, even, I would say.
I'll try and draw their fire. Engines activated. I have visual contact.
You could probably do quite a bit to it. I don't know if I would want to do something as large as a Corvette, because I think you'd probably lose a lot of them. But it would
Battleship here.
really struggle killing them, I think. This sort of target is what this guy is specifically good against. And these things have turbo lasers. They have more powerful turbo ions, interestingly. 240 damage on the turbo ions.
Mark 6.1.
But, like,
That's it. Scratch one.
the numbers of them is not anywhere near 264.
I'm with you.
versus, let's just do a quick count. 3, 18, 6, 6, 13, 20. That's pittance. Absolutely pittance.
Decrease to full throttle.
Attack!
I'm in range. Roger that. Hold on. That's got him. That's got him. Decrease to full throttle. I'm in range. I'm in range. I'm in range. Attack formation. We go around front of the pass. That's got him. I've got it lined up. I'm in range. Attack formation. We go around front of the pass.
It's such a pitiful explosion. That's so disappointing.
Calamari cruiser ready.
Especially since if you compare that to the explosion that came off of the
Try not to let one on your
the
tail.
Independence when we lost her, that was like a proper
Keep your eyes open.
huge explosion, and it was particular unique sound effect and everything. That was cool.
On our way.
I mean, it wasn't cool that we lost it, but that the effect was cool.
Defenders ready.
Decrease to full throttle. Decrease to full throttle.
At this point, we're just waiting.
With you.
I suspect because these particular sectors only launch these funky TIE fighters and, you know, a handful of other things, mostly the bombers are only really the arcs, and arcs are okay, but they're not that, like, wait, these aren't even very good arcs. They've got one proton rocket launcher. That's not great. 4 ammo.
Stay in attack formation. Rendezvous.
I think ours are better. But either way, the fact that there's just not very many
Confirmed.
bombers out of these,
Standing by. It's as good as gold.
definitely the Imperial ones, if these were Imperial, we would be
Weapons charged.
taking more damage just because they have bombers.
Got one hit.
Fire!
Let's find out how good is this thing at destroying transports. Not very. It's getting a couple hits in there. There goes one.
I've got something. Enemy unit disabled. I'm in range. Rendezvous at Mark 6.1. Enemy unit disabled. Rendezvous
Getting a few hits in here and there, but
I've been hit. Stay in attack formation. Hold on. Someone cover me.
yeah. I mean, that's at extreme range. Let's see if is there anything closer? No, not really.
Vector set.
A-wing here.
Yeah. This thing would not,
Ready for orders. Fire at
it would
will.
not last against bombers and transports
Copy that.
in any
Awaiting instruction.
significant numbers. You'd just need those.
Form up. Beginning attack pattern behind me. Increase to full throttle. Rendezvous.
I'm not sure how I feel about these things. The design, I mean, it's a little,
Enemy unit disabled. Decrease to full throttle.
yeah, I don't know. It's a little weird.
Hold on.
What are they engaging that they're taking so much damage?
I've got my approach vector. 6. Reporting in.
Those arcs, it looks like.
Decrease to full throttle. Ready for commands. Stay in attack formation.
Gonna go ahead and, yeah.
Should we go around for another pass?
Frequency open. Attack that target.
At this close range, it does get some hits, some more hits,
I'm in range.
but it's struggling even to get through the shields, it looks like.
I got him.
And as soon as you start pulling away, really starts to struggle, despite all of that firepower. So yeah, definitely transports would do it. I'm kind of curious to see what a bunch of,
Ready to receive orders.
like,
Try not to let one on your tail.
Corvettes, DP-20 type things would do.
Battleship standing by.
Like how close you could reasonably get,
Decrease to full throttle.
how well it would do.
Stay in attack
Attacking
formation.
target.
Stay in attack formation. I'm hit.
They're coming around. Moving out.
Okay, well,
Someone's on my tail. I have visual contact. I can't hold out.
Shuttle here.
Enemy unit disabled.
We are victorious.
alrighty. Well, that was a thing that just happened. Holy cow. Oh, you know, I didn't even think to check. How many credits did we get out of that? I missed it. Well, hey, there's the fleet over Liliana. Just absolutely deleted. Plain and simple. Yeah, that's, Wonder if that's something we could use to scare these guys off. Now I think about it. That might be something. Did we ever find out what was at Severo and Crimea? Cause I don't remember. Let's get some spying going.
Right away.
Also, do we try for this as well? I don't know. These things have quite a bit more firepower, and they're quite a bit tougher, and there's also 3 of them, and they're backed up by a whole bunch more firepower. Oh, you know what? I take it back what I said earlier about the heaviest turbo lasers. These things, that 264, the ultra heavy on the front. Yeah, that is actually heavier, but it is just one. And I don't think any other ship has anything like that. Let's see, DeSevro's got a little bit of a CSA fleet that is not anything compared to the Bulwark. And Quermia has even less. Yeah, let's just do that. One thing I would like to see though. Dang, it's not close. I want to use one of those in battle just to see what it looks like. Speaking of which, I didn't comment on the MC-80B here. I'm pretty sure that's the same model that's in Thrawn's Revenge, isn't it?
I copy.
Yeah, I think that's the same model. that they use in Thrawn's Revenge? Pretty sure. I know,
Battleship here. Let's move out.
two mods, these two mods, Thrawn's Revenge and this one, have some cross-pollination.
Shuttle reporting.
Because,
Roger that. Copy.
Evil Bob the Bob,
Roger that.
who,
Form up.
maintains this one, also works with Thrawn's Revenge.
Weapons charged.
I wonder what going up the next tech level gives,
Form up.
because this thing is launching a lot of pretty good stuff.
Awaiting
So is
orders.
this.
Let's move out.
I wonder what our quasars look like now.
Located the enemy. Let's go.
Oh hey, we're about to find out what the Bulwark can do against corvettes.
Keep going.
Interesting.
Protect cargo.
I copy.
Ooh,
Moving to attack position.
well there is that feature. The old tractor beam. Why aren't you firing?
Forward.
Okay, maybe corvettes is a bad idea. Maybe stick with
Increase to full throttle.
We're in attack range.
stuff that's smaller than a
Enemy
corvette,
target sighted.
like this sort of thing. I think.
Watch your six.
Yeah, the difference there is immediate.
Going. Yes, Commander.
You don't have smaller weaponry either, do you?
Full throttle.
Nope, just big stuff.
Target's coming in fast.
Go this way. I think you should be able to handle that just fine.
He won't be around much longer. Reporting. Open fire.
Form up. Fire.
Awaiting command. Weapons ready. Weapons ready. We're drawing their fire. Closing on enemy.
But yeah, it's this is
Roger that.
Decrease to full throttle.
really scary.
Coordinates.
I am starting to feel like it is underpriced.
Stay in attack formation.
Like, what you get out of this seems like a lot better than...
Ready.
I mean, it is really expensive, to be fair.
Got one.
Really expensive. But is it really expensive enough?
Forward.
Not sure.
I'm with you. I got it. Ah! Where are you? Encountering resistance. Should we go around for another pass?
Although, speaking of really expensive, I have a question.
Switch pattern.
Why in the world have we not seen any
Try not to let one of your
Imperial, like,
Form up.
battleships?
Stay in attack
We saw the Secular that one time, and have never seen one since. That the one in the core? That was the only battleship we've seen. Everything else has been just Star Destroyers.
Where are you?
Yes, they're upgrading them, but... Like, why have we not seen, you know, Mark II, Mark III Seculars?
I've been hit.
Cruiser standing by.
Yes, sir.
Cruiser responding. Awaiting orders.
Moving forward. Got one.
Open fire.
Hold on. Rendezvous at Mark 6.1. Yes, Commander. Attack that target.
Copy.
I'm in range.
Attack that
Increase to
target.
full throttle. I'm in range. Stay in attack formation. Stay in attack formation. I've got a fix.
Looks
Attacking
like
target.
the Turbo ions have significantly reduced range over the turbo lasers. That's interesting.
Decrease to full throttle.
56 versus 72.
I can't take another hit like that.
Also,
Stay in attack.
I don't know if anyone would be able to answer this, but the tractor beams, why does it say 18? Why do they all have a number? 6 tractor beam.
Attack.
That's it.
You know?
That's one.
Engines activated.
18 tractor beam. What?
En
Is
route.
that a number? Like a quantity of them? Or is that like the strength of them? What does that mean?
Charged.
Also, why are you refusing to shoot at what I'm telling you to shoot at?
Taking focal coordinates.
What is going on here?
Stay in attack.
Fire. Consider it done.
That's frustrating. It thinks it has longer range than the weapons actually do.
Loosen up. Look out.
Weapons operational.
Switch pattern. I can't hold on.
What is the length of it? 12? Yeah, it's looking like the actual weapons don't have the range that it thinks they have. 48, because that would be like 4 lengths. 4 lengths of this thing.
Attack that target.
Something to keep in mind as we
Reporting.
use these things in the future.
Attack. Roger.
Got a couple more of them building
Warm
over...
up.
There's one... No, this one is from Kuwak.
Ready.
There's one over
Stay in attack formation.
Biss? I think there's one over Biss.
Move on.
And I feel like I was building another one somewhere.
I'm in range. Decrease to full
On
throttle.
calamari cruiser here.
Awaiting orders. Open fire. Ready for duty. Locking on. Yes, Commander. Open fire! I'm in range. Decrease to full throttle. Copy. Right away. Watch for enemy fighters. Squadron reporting. Attacking target. Ready. Attack that target. I copy. I'm in range.
These things are so fast. I feel like that's not necessarily a plus in a dogfight,
Credits acquired.
oddly enough. As you can see by just watching this, it seems like it's not hardly getting off any shots. You know, you're just hearing few blasts every now and then. Then they get, and then the
Formation.
enemy squadron peels off, and then we kind of wreck them.
The enemy
But
has
if they
been
don't peel
defeated.
off, I feel like it's beneficial to have a lower speed than your enemy and higher maneuverability in a dogfight like that. It's just the way it seems like to me. Well, not universally lower, but like a step down from your opponent. So like not just, you know, low speed, you know, a thousand Gs, that would not be good. But if it's like couple of hundred below what the enemy ships have, then you've got yourself an advantage. Oh look, it's actually showing us what's at Adseri. Cool. That's... I was going to say this thing is, having fought with the Bulwark, this thing is a lot less terrifying, but I don't know if I can say that because that 520 lasers and then 185 quad lasers, that's, we were seeing quite clearly that the Bulwark was struggling heavily to take out transports and anything smaller than a transport. The Lucrehulk would not have that problem. We have gone up against the Lucrehulk and we did quite well, but I think a large part of that was just because of the sheer volume. We didn't stick around. We kind of charged into it, went through, and out the other side fairly quickly because we have quite good bombers. Like, it was this fleet, and it was just overwhelming firepower. I feel like that's why we did so well against that Lucrehulk. If it was the player using the Lucrehulk against bombers like that, I think you would have taken a lot of those bombers with you. Probably would have still lost the Lucrehulk, but that it would have been a lot of losses for the bombers, I think. Let's have General Shakti do this one. Take DeSevero and Quermia.
On my way.
I don't know if I can even be bothered to fight Raxus. The planet itself is not really worth all that much. Like, additional combat income from salvage, that's just universal. We don't need to have blockading the planet doesn't alter that in any way. So, like,
My objective.
yeah,
Moving to that location.
probably just leave it alone for now. Probably take it eventually, but there's not really any particular rush. Can leave that for later. See, we've only seen their capital ships so far, it seems like. Except the one secular. And I don't believe for a second that the Empire only has seculars that are larger than the Star Destroyers. Like, if we get the Bulwarks, we get the Independence, like, there's no way that the Empire doesn't also get similar things that are larger and more powerful. I assume they get access to Praetors. I don't see why they wouldn't. So basically my question is, where are they? Why haven't we seen them yet? What do we want to do here? We haven't done over racers. Do we want to do that? Oh, that makes them faster. Yay. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm gonna do this.
Upgrade in progress.
The problem with the speeders is they are so fast, and on paper they're really good, but it kind of takes the AI to use them effectively because they can micro, like, without any problems. And I basically use them as just a swift assault anti-infantry solution, which I kind of feel like there are better options for that, for the most part. I don't know, maybe we'll upgrade them later, but meh. Ragob's Star Destroyer's getting pretty close. 87%. Maybe we'll hold off on attacking Quermia until he's finished, just so he gets to see a little bit of action. Oh, really? Okay, apparently they did not have Alzok. Holy. Okay, wow. That probably just wiped out their entire ground force in this area. Good grief. Yeah, they're really giving the Empire a beating. But surely the Empire has... Wow. Maybe they don't. You know something, I'm starting to think. That right there. We could do something about that. Kind of starting to feel like maybe we should. I've kept all of those units there to give the CSA some ability to fight the Empire, because basically I want them to kind of almost equal each other so that they don't, one of them doesn't overwhelm the other one, because if that happens then we're going to be dealing with something even stronger than both of them independently. But it's starting to seem like the CSA is just rolling straight through the Empire, especially with the Empire's recent losses like this. This is... Yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna have to... shut off their income a little bit. Do we still have that interdictor over here? I don't think we do. Yeah, we lost it, didn't we? Yeah, I'm thinking that's what we're gonna have to do, isn't it? Because if we want them on an even footing, right now, they're not, and I don't see the Empire recovering well enough to be able to counter the CSA with how much income the CSA has right now. It doesn't seem like it's gonna happen. And one thing I really don't want is for one of them to kick out the other. You know, one of them to kick the other out of the game completely.
Upgrade complete.
That would be no good. Let's see, what did we get? That was these guys. 2,400. Cool. And with that, here goes to Severo. Let's go with these guys.
Invasion commencing.
I probably need to get the lower level stuff out of here again. Although there isn't actually that much. At least not much lower level stuff that has a higher level equivalent to replace it.
Reporting. Moving out. Roger.
Reinforcements can only be dropped onto reinforcement point areas.
Choose your reinforcements.
Wow, what a revelation.
Enemy base shields up.
Base shields, you say?
Destination set.
We've secured a build pad.
Heading in that direction.
We've secured a build pad.
Ready for action.
You know what?
Ready.
How quickly can you... Come on now.
Location confirmed.
Get over there.
Moving out.
Yeah, it's pretty quick, to be honest. Quicker than the transports, because the why don't it isn't it usually that you always get
Moving into
two
position.
transports dropping at the same time? Isn't that kind of standard?
Roger. Order acknowledged.
I don't know, maybe I'm assuming. Roll up to here and defend that corner.
We've secured a landing zone.
Used for security on remote worlds. I can see Droideka being quite good as security droids.
Reporting in.
For sure.
Cantor's unit on point now.
We've
I am
secured
ready.
a build pad.
Right away.
Transport ready. Acknowledged.
Roger that.
Can't cancel it early.
Coordinates received.
Does it only increase speed? Run at full speed with increased rate of fire for a short duration. Oh, interesting. So it's not just movement speed.
Cantor's tank ready. Give me a target. Cantor's unit on point now.
Form up. Right away.
Armored transport ready.
We've secured a build pad.
You guys, because you guys can roll over the,
We've lost a build pad.
roll over the water. Yes.
We've lost a build pad.
Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. Heading out.
Ready.
They don't seem to have any, like,
There they are.
things.
Position Alpha successfully reached.
Bombing run
They
available.
do have... Is that...
We've secured
is that
a
our
build
Droideka?
pad.
Oh, that's our Droideka. I thought there was one of theirs. Ow, 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 ow.
Yes, Commander. Proceeding.
Get in, under the shield.
A build pad.
Unit destroyed.
No, 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 no. Stop moving.
Unit destroyed.
We're on station and ready to fire.
We've secured
Maybe they do have Droideka. Oh, they do have Droideka.
Armed and ready.
I'm not crazy.
On my way. Reporting in.
Unit destroyed.
Copy. Ball out.
We're on station and ready to fire.
Charge.
What do I get to blow up? We're an assault tank.
We've
What do you
secured
wish?
a build pad.
Moving.
Squish the building.
Moving out. Target acquired.
We've lost a build pad. We've lost a build
Are these the same kind of Droideka? No, these are P-series.
Orders understood.
Not nearly as good.
Standing by.
We've
I
lost
copy.
a build pad.
Reporting. Let's move out.
We've secured a build pad.
Affirmative.
Y-Wing Squadron reporting.
Bombers.
Unit destroyed.
Should have brought these
Gold
down.
Squadron commencing attack.
Destination received.
Get a better landing zone in closer.
A build
Where's
pad.
my target? Moving at full speed now.
Take him out.
Guys wanna
Go.
come help?
Yes, Commander.
We've lost a
Unit
build
destroyed.
pad.
This way.
I feel like we've probably lost a little too many of those at this point.
Awaiting orders.
At your command.
We've lost a build pad.
It is about time. If I must.
Awaiting your orders. Fire at will. Advancing.
We've secured a build pad.
I copy, sir. Combat systems at 100%.
We've lost a build pad.
Reporting. Over here. Take cover. Heavy fire. Squad, lock and load.
Bombardment
Affirmative.
available. We've secured a build pad.
Assault tank reporting for duty. Entering
Is
battlefield.
that going to be victory relevant? I'm not sure. I cannot remember.
Ready.
Engines primed.
Ready for action.
Awaiting your command.
We've
Provide
lost a
cover as
build
necessary.
pad.
Waiting orders.
What is my next objective?
Ready.
We've lost a build pad.
Attack! Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Engaging target.
Oof.
Mass drivers activated.
Oh, they actually have stuff in the building. Why?
Copy. Commencing attack.
We've secured a build pad. We've
As you wish.
secured a
Follow
build
your
pad.
lead.
Need a hit. Attacking enemy positions now.
We are victorious.
Nope. One more stray Droideka.
A build pad.
Alright, that works for me. I think we're going to hold off building the interdiction
Tactical
cruiser
battle imminent.
until, Wh- Oh. Oh dear. This is a thing that is happening, apparently. Well. Okay then. Let me finish that thought real quick. I was about to get an interdiction cruiser going on Kashyyyk, but I think we'll hold off on that until they've finished upgrading, because it's just about there. That's all I wanted to say. We can't do this. I'm not sure we can do this in terms of gameplay. Maybe. Probably. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure. But the big thing is this is Darth Vader, and we cannot do this. I am not about to use this random battle on Prakith to kill Darth Vader. That's not going to happen. Plain and simple. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I am not about to take advantage of the fact that the AI
Can do.
is not all that bright when it comes to their units in order to kill heroes, especially not heroes like Darth Vader. I mean, I didn't want to kill Veers on Sullust, but he did actually take the planet and legitimately destroyed us there. But Vader
Secured.
on Prakith? Nah.
Yes.
Without any other heroes here to
Who's the target? I'll get there.
fight against him? Nah.
All weapons
That's
loaded.
not.
I'm here, sir.
I don't like that.
Ready.
The enemy is approaching.
Of course, there's a distinct possibility that I only noticed the 25% damage bonus he gives.
T4B ready.
What else does he have? And 25% damage bonus for
On it, sir.
the...
Reporting.
No, actually, don't do that. For the, what do they call it? The Juggernauts? That's terrifying.
Transport ready.
Like, genuinely terrifying. They already do so much damage.
I copy. Moving into that area, sir. Enemy targeted.
Yeah, we'll fight them. Maybe try to get them to retreat, but I'm not going to kill Vader here.
Give me
hit target.
if we can avoid it, and I think we can, I'm not going to do that. If we can get them to retreat, then great.
4B mobile.
But,
Moving into position.
yeah.
I'll follow your lead. Underway.
It's not satisfying. Narratively, it's not...
Yes, sir.
It doesn't make any sense, lore-wise, that he would die on some random planet. Not with this much backup.
Roger that.
I'm starting to increasingly feel like actually we can't do this regardless, though, I'm gonna be honest.
Destroyed.
Always ready, sir.
Artillery online.
Are you
Torpedoes
firing?
away.
Fire at that.
Targeted.
I'm not sure if their torpedoes go over the hills.
Roger that.
No, they do not. Oh. Right.
I copy.
Yes, Commander.
Vader hasn't even landed, and I'm already starting to feel like we're in a bad spot. Wow, that's a lot of damage. What the heck?
We've secured a build pad. Our base is
Okay,
under
so much for
attack.
those units, I guess. Maybe we,
Lost a build pad.
Almost there. I copy.
you guys head out here.
Armed and
We've
ready.
secured a build pad.
Roger that. Moving into that area, sir.
I would, no, just one of you. You, I want to get, like, right in behind.
We've secured a build pad.
There's room for you, I promise.
Torpedo launcher mobile, sir.
Right there. You can just about fit, I'm almost certain. Oh look, they're all stuck for reasons.
What? Affirmative. Who's the target? At your command. Acknowledged. What do you need? On the move.
Copy.
Ah. Told you.
I copy. Initiating
And then
ground
you
assault.
can get up right next to it. Oh,
Affirmative.
hi.
Got something for
Where do
me.
you come from?
Roger that.
I mean, presumably this, but
On the move.
that's interesting.
Behind instruction.
Our base is under attack.
Whoa, that's a lot of damage, goodness.
We've lost a build pad.
Reporting.
We've lost a landing zone.
Moving out.
These two random squads of scout troopers are doing an awful lot of damage, man. Especially considering there for a second we were actively firing at them as they came up. Wait, this is him landing?
Triple laser
I thought for
tower
certain,
destroyed.
for certain, I thought for certain he'd be in a lambda. What is he? Oh no, there's no way that's him. Where he must have been dropped somewhere else then. We don't have sensor.
Yes, sir.
There.
Heading out.
We don't have sensor ping, so we can't see. Is this gonna let me?
Yes, Commander. Ready. All out. Yeah.
Feel free to keep moving.
Destroyed.
Okay, now we're gonna have to keep a close eye out for Vader himself.
Reporting.
In particular, I have a bad feeling that he's gonna get hit by the artillery and just nuked.
T4B.
Okay, no, we can't do this. This is... I don't... It's the... Because the AI... No, not you. Not you. Just hold, stop right there.
Tank brigade.
The AI doesn't know how to handle these...
Transmission received.
This in particular, they don't know how to deal with. And then this side... Because we can so effectively gum up the works, you know? By having just a wall of tanks in the way of them getting through into the shield.
Unit destroyed.
It's just
We've secured.
doesn't seem
Awaiting orders. Commencing attack. Cover me.
doesn't seem fair. Oh, oh hi, there he is. Hold on, I want to know. What does he get? 25% damage, 10% shields? It says offense 5, motivation 2, engineering 1. Motivation is ability recharge time, I'm pretty sure. Isn't it?
Unit destroyed.
Oh. Oh, that was him using force push, and now they're
Unit destroyed. Base
ghosts,
is under
I
attack.
guess. That's really weird. I've never seen that happen. Is it because we paused it right as he used it or something?
Loud and clear.
I'm increasingly starting to feel like actually we just
Weapons firing.
straight up can't do this.
Engaging target. Your orders?
The thing is, if they break that, we're
Engines prime.
like we're done. Or this, to be fair.
Laser tower destroyed.
Keep going.
I want to give them a fair chance to do this properly.
Unit
To you know, like, outright win the battle without me trying to give it to them.
Reporting.
While at the same time, I do not want to accidentally kill Vader. Oh, I shouldn't have shot at that.
Need someone taken out.
Of course, they're starting to kill the things that might prevent that, or might facilitate that. Turbo lasers and artillery in particular are
Moving to attack range.
the things I'm worried will kill him without me noticing.
Boarding in.
we've secured a build pad.
Ready to roll.
Spread out, men. I copy. Roger.
See, if they would roll forward right now, they're not rolling forward when they should be.
There. T4P mobile. We're right behind
These
you.
guys need to push forward.
Unit
Are they trying?
destroyed.
I don't think they're trying. Yeah, that's the problem. Well, part of the problem. Part of the problem is that the units just generally cannot handle the terrain. And thus also don't understand shields.
Roger
Base
that.
is under
Will
attack.
do. Following your lead.
Surely he's not going to be
Artillery on
under
line.
threat, under anything resembling threat from the infantry, right? Like, there's no way our infantry can kill him. Surely. He has force push, and I'm pretty sure that other ability breaks vehicles? Question mark?
Right away.
I think.
Form up.
I think that's the one that does that.
Awaiting orders.
Oh no, don't go all herky-jerky.
Boarding in. Fire.
See, that right there is the problem. Okay, well, he's literally in the base. Do we at this point just say, well, Vader got into the base and we're doomed? I feel like this is probably the point, right? I don't feel like they can legitimately do this. I think
I copy.
we're just doing too much damage to
Yes,
them.
sir. Fire.
T4B.
The upgraded tanks really,
Heading assault. Commence
like,
assault.
that is seriously significant, man.
Unit
There
destroyed.
goes that.
Ready for attack.
Of course, he could use force push any second now and just wipe half of us out.
Abort pad.
Almost there.
Wait, wasn't there another Juggernaut there? Am I crazy?
Target locked. I'll follow you. We're right behind you.
Stinking Storm Commandos. Get out of here with your flamethrowers. Yeah, at this point they've got nothing here
Give me
except Vader. I feel like at this point it's just we cannot carry on without killing Vader, and that's not I'm not okay with that.
Situation
Plain and simple.
untenable. All forces
The fact that it's just plain the AI being stupid with their units is not cool.
Turbo laser tower destroyed.
If he had pulled back and then they had, like, as the armor got destroyed and then they made another push, I'd say maybe, but yeah, we already destroyed so many of them. The upgraded tanks make such a difference. It's not even funny. Like, these seemed so overpowered for so long, but then when we finally get to Mark IV ourselves, it's like, whoa. I suppose you could make the argument that Mark IV stuff is just overpowered, but I don't know. That's probably not really correct.
System lost.
Okay, well, yeah, Vader took Prakith. I don't understand. Why aren't they using AT-ATs? Or ATSTs? They have both of them. I don't get it. It seems like they're just not using their higher level stuff. You know? I don't... Well, unfortunately, I think that's gonna have to do it for this episode. I did want to get to Quermia, but at this point, we just don't have the time for it. I mean, that would be a quick battle, but to be honest, I'm starting to run out of disk space, and I don't want to run out completely, so I think we're gonna have to call it here. Next episode... I don't know. Actually, yeah, I do. I take it back. We take Quermia, and, I think we're gonna have to just destroy all of that economic power over Kala. Because the Empire is just being overwhelmed by what the CSA has, and that's just not ideal. We want them to be roughly equal so that they beat each other up, but are also, you know, not really actually equal. What we really want is for one of them to be just high enough that they think they can beat the other one, and then attack, and then bring themselves down, so that they're below the other one, and then kind of go back and forth, up and down, both of them, so that they never quite match each other, because if they're perfectly even, then they're only going to attack us, and that's... At that point, we might as well just have one enemy. But as long as they're going back and forth, they're not attacking us, and we can, you know, survive. At this point, I think, what with the fact that we've got a Bulwark Mark II, and lots of upgraded tech, lots of things unlocked, I think we're in much less danger of being wiped out by them. Especially since we've seen the Empire hit us in our defensive planets in 3 places, and we've pushed them back. I think we're in a much better position, but at the same time, I think that if one of them took over, I'm not sure we would be able to handle the result. Especially if it's the CSA. I think if the CSA were to take over and wipe out the Empire, we would really struggle with taking the CSA down. Not to mention the fact, this is supposed to be the Galactic Civil War. I don't feel like the CSA should be nearly as much of a major player at this stage. So to be perfectly honest, we might just go out of our way to wipe out some of the CSA's force, bring them back down to Imperial levels. Kind of let the Empire have a bit of respite to build up more, because let's be honest, I think we all want to see what the largest ships the Empire has access to are, and whether or not we can beat them. 'Cause, like, fighting off a few little bits of fleets like this, dealing with these sorts of things, is not nearly as entertaining as having, like, a super Star Destroyer drop out of hyperspace and have to deal with that. Like, that would be way more entertaining. I don't know if they have SSDs in this. I have no real way of knowing without, like... I suppose I could start an Empire campaign and take a look at their research, but... I feel like it's more exciting if we don't know. But yeah, I think I'm less and less inclined to get these guys down here now that we see how much the CSA is just pushing them back. And with the destruction of 3 major Imperial fleets, yeah, maybe we just rip apart Druria, Wayland, Kala, finish them off, and just be done with it. It would certainly be simpler than trying to get them to retreat. Never mind the fact that I'm not entirely convinced we could, even wanting to. Like, that's... I don't... Yeah, no, I don't know. I do know, though, that is going to do it for this episode.
Upgrade in progress.
So, I will say, thank you for watching. Take care. And farewell.